Buckle up, Buttercup. It's World War III time. Yes, you heard that right. The world is on the brink of chaos once again. And this time, it's not just a plot from a dystopian novel. World War III. The sequel nobody asked for, but everyone's morbidly curious about. It's like the universe decided to greenlight the most unnecessary sequel ever. It's like the cinematic equivalent of a flaming dumpster rolling downhill towards a fireworks factory. You know it's going to be a disaster, but the spectacle is just too compelling to ignore. You know it's going to be a disaster, but you can't help but watch. It's like a disaster movie marathon, only this time the stakes are real and the popcorn is optional. So, let's assume, for the sake of this entirely hypothetical and not at all anxiety-inducing essay, that World War III is upon us. What does that even mean for us, the everyday people just trying to get by? What does that even look like in the 21st century? Trench warfare with iPhones? Soldiers live tweeting their positions? It's a bizarre thought, but not entirely out of the realm of possibility. Drone strikes scheduled between Zoom meetings? Imagine trying to discuss quarterly earnings while dodging virtual airstrikes. The absurdity is almost too much to handle. Frankly, it's probably going to be a lot less Saving Private Ryan and a lot more Black Mirror on a global scale. A dystopian future where technology and warfare blend into a surreal nightmare. Buckle up, Buttercup, because things are about to get weird. Really weird. The kind of weird that makes you question reality itself. So, hold on tight and prepare for a ride like no other. So, you want to start a world war? A user's guide. Starting a world war these days isn't as simple as, say, a disgruntled archduke taking a wrong turn in Sarajevo. No, in our interconnected, globalized world, it's a tad more complicated. Think cyber warfare, disinformation campaigns, and good old-fashioned resource scarcity. Throw in a healthy dose of nationalism, a dash of political opportunism, and a pinch of whoops. Someone accidentally pressed the button, and you've got yourself a recipe for global catastrophe. It's like making a terrible smoothie, but instead of kale and spinach, you're blending together economic sanctions, territorial disputes, and enough nuclear weapons to turn the planet into a radioactive fondue pot. Bon appetit! The usual suspects and their questionable motivations. Now, let's talk players. Who are the likely contenders for the coveted World War III champion title? Well, you've got your usual suspects. Superpowers with itchy trigger fingers and enough military hardware to make even the most enthusiastic doomsday prepper blush. But let's not forget the wildcards. Rogue states with chips on their shoulders, non-state actors with questionable intentions, and Mark Zuckerberg accidentally merging reality with the metaverse. It's like a geopolitical game of Clue. But instead of Colonel Mustard with the candlestick in the library, it's probably going to be a rogue AI with a hypersonic missile in low Earth orbit. And we all know how much everyone loves a good plot twist. All the world's a battlefield, and we're all just players. Gone are the days of clearly defined battlefields and front lines. In the age of globalization and interconnectedness, World War III would be less about storming Normandy and more about crashing the global economy, one swift code at a time. Imagine supply chains collapsing faster than a cryptocurrency scheme, internet memes becoming weapons of mass disinformation, and your morning commute now involving dodging drones instead of potholes. It's like a dystopian version of The Amazing Race, where the grand prize is survival and the only way to win is not to play. Good luck explaining that to your competitive Aunt Linda. Tinder, TikTok, and thermonuclear warheads. Social media in the apocalypse. Let's not forget the role social media would play in all of this. Imagine scrolling through your feed and seeing a live stream of a nuclear detonation between cat videos and influencer endorsements. Hashtag World War III, trending now. Misinformation would spread faster than a Kardashian marriage announcement. Conspiracy theories would flourish like mushrooms after the rain, and everyone would become an armchair general, strategizing from the comfort of their couch while simultaneously live tweeting the apocalypse. It's enough to make you long for the days of dial-up internet and chain emails about a Nigerian prince. World War III, the ultimate reality show, with special guest stars. Of course, no discussion about World War III would be complete without mentioning the inevitable reality TV show. In a world where entertainment knows no bounds, even the most catastrophic events can be turned into prime-time television. Picture this: Survivor: Nuclear Winter, where contestants compete for dwindling resources in a post-apocalyptic wasteland. Imagine the drama, the alliances, and the betrayals as they navigate through radiation zones and scavenge for food. Or how about the Real Housewives of the Fallout Shelter, where privileged socialites navigate the challenges of underground living with their signature blend of drama and backstabbing. Watch as they argue over the last can of beans and who gets the top bunk. And for the musically inclined, there's always American Idol Post-Apocalyptic Edition, where aspiring singers belt out their survival anthems for a chance at fame, fortune, and a lifetime supply of canned goods. Picture the judges critiquing performances amidst the ruins of civilization. It's the perfect blend of entertainment and escapism. Assuming you have access to electricity and a working television, which, let's be honest, is a big if. But hey, in a world where anything is possible, who knows? Maybe solar-powered TVs will become the next big thing. Until then, we can only imagine the wild and wacky reality shows that could emerge from the ashes of World War III. So, grab your popcorn, sit back, and enjoy the ultimate reality show, where the stakes have never been higher and the laughs never louder. How to survive World War III. Hint: you probably won't. Now, you're probably wondering how to survive this hypothetical global catastrophe. Well, I have good news and bad news. The bad news is that your odds of surviving a full-blown World War III are about as good as a snowball's chance in hell. The good news is that you won't have to worry about your student loans anymore. So there's that. But seriously, if you're really concerned about surviving the apocalypse, you're better off investing in a good therapist and a lifetime supply of your favorite comfort food. Because when the world ends, at least you'll be well adjusted and slightly overweight. And the award for most destructive war goes to... In the end, if World War III does happen, there will be no winners, just survivors picking up the pieces of a shattered world and trying to rebuild from the ashes. It's a sobering thought, isn't it? All the technological advancements, all the cultural achievements, all the cat videos on the internet, gone in a flash of nuclear fire. It's enough to make you want to hug a diplomat and whisper sweet nothings about peace and diplomacy into their ear. Or, just continue doom scrolling on your phone, whatever gets you through the night. Congratulations, humanity, we finally did it. So, there you have it, a darkly humorous glimpse into the potential horrors of World War III. It's a future we should all strive to avoid, a nightmare scenario that should never become reality. But hey, at least we can find some dark humor in the absurdity of it all, right? Because if we can't laugh at the end of the world, then what's the point of ending it at all? In conclusion, let's not do that again, okay? In all seriousness though, the prospect of World War III is a terrifying one. The thought of global conflict on such a massive scale is enough to send shivers down anyone's spine. It's a stark reminder of the fragility of peace and the ever-present potential for conflict in our world. Every day, we see headlines that make us question the stability of our global community. While humor can be a coping mechanism and a way to engage with difficult topics, it's important to remember the very real human cost of war. The lives lost, the families torn apart, and the communities destroyed are no laughing matter. Let's hope that we can learn from the mistakes of the past and find peaceful solutions to our differences, instead of resorting to violence and destruction. Diplomacy, understanding, and mutual respect should be our guiding principles. Because let's face it, nobody wants to live in a world where the only entertainment options are Survivor Nuclear Winter and the Real Housewives of the Fallout Shelter. Except maybe Aunt Linda. But even she would prefer a world where laughter comes from joy, not from a place of fear or desperation.